Focusing on safety, first of all, being aware of the personal space for the staff member and for the aggressor or the potential aggressor. Bearing in mind that some people who have experienced trauma, for example, need just that little bit more space because their brains are hyper-vigilant, hyper-aroused, and they feel more threatened. So getting that physical space right would be a first thing. Understanding how your body looks, so what's your body communicating? If you're trying to de-escalate someone by standing over the top of them, that's never going to be working. So being aware of how you stand, where you stand, still trying to have a professional posture, not being too relaxed, but having a professional stance that communicates assertiveness, professionalism, but it also gives you an opportunity to protect yourself if need be. So you don't want to be standing like that, but being able to get to that stance when you're ready. So for me, the stance that I prefer to use is having my feet at L shape, having my knees bent. I tend to have my hands in front of me, and rather than looking at the person, I would be sitting or standing at an angle from them and choosing to look at them. So they're seeing the side of me rather than the full front of me. After that, we're starting to think about how we talk. I would want to get the person talking. We have to listen actively while they're talking. So rather than taking the conversation down different pathways, just try and keep them talking. Oh really? I didn't realise that. Okay. Just to keep them talking in the same direction. The key to this is trying to find out what's wrong. So the person that's shouting and screaming because their appointment's been delayed, that tends not to be what they're angry about. That's the thing that's pushed them over the edge today, but there's usually some anger underneath that. And if we can listen long enough to get to that, then we can start to help. Once we've achieved that, a little bit of empathy helps. One of the problems with empathy is we're trying to say, I understand. But if you do say, I understand, the person's likely to come back at you saying that you quite clearly don't understand. And there can be quite a lot of volume and conflict in that conversation. So if we're trying to get the message over, I understand, then we're using empathy statements like, I didn't realise. That must have been so difficult. Of course you're angry. I can see how angry you are. You've got every right to be angry. Those kind of phrases. If we can use a genuine empathy phrase, then that helps the person to believe that they're being heard. It becomes more of a conversation. And once it becomes a conversation, then we can start to look at solutions. One of the solutions can sometimes be a negotiation. So the person's demanded something and it's against the rules, we wouldn't negotiate there. But if somebody's requesting something and it's a fair request, then we can do the negotiation. One of the concerns about negotiation is that if you negotiate with someone who's angry and who's doing the dominating stuff, when you negotiate, you're rewarding this energy, this behaviour. If you negotiate with someone who's requesting something, then you're rewarding this behaviour. So the negotiation is definitely an option, but we just need to remember that if you negotiate with someone, there's a chance that you're going to be rewarding whatever behaviour they were presenting with. The last part is unfortunately sometimes the part that people forget, which is the debrief. After an incident like this, we often go straight to other patients and their family members and debrief them about the loud voices and how scary it was. I think that sometimes in healthcare, we forget to debrief the staff. Sometimes we forget to debrief the staff that overheard it and that were scared about it. So just remembering to do that at the end, it just helps to tie it up and make it safe before we move on to whatever else we have to deal with.